Welcome to another edition of Flea Market Fantasy, the world's second greatest Bronze Age era comic book podcast. Joining me as always is new Michael, Kevin Jank.
Hey, I'm here, and I don't really have like a catchy quip this go around, but I'm here.
Why not? We're doing the Freedom Fighters. That should be full of creative quips.
You know what? Uncle Sam did have some good ones. He had some zingers.
Tarnation.
Yeah. It's no Thunderation like Jonah Hex, but.
All right, yeah, today we're reading The Freedom Fighters, issue 10 from 1977, and this is a DC comic about, some freedom fighters.
They hate freedom. Wherever it pops up, they gotta fight it.
I'll punch it right in the jeans. But we'll get into their history, because I'd never heard of this book until a couple weeks ago, and I don't know, it was interesting.
Yeah, it was uneven, but it had its moments.
How about, the villain in this book is Catman. He's one of the villains. And I gotta tell you, his little gang of hoodlums that he runs around with, the Tomcats.
Yeah. They seem straight out of the 60s Batman TV show with Catwoman. They just made a Catman instead.
Yeah, it's pretty much his history. Yeah, we'll get into that too when we go through it. But before we begin, let's remind everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We're up to 241 subscribers, Jank, so we picked up 3, I believe, since last week.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. That baseball issue did really well for us.
That's good. Yeah, I can see why. That's quite the premise.
No one can believe how bad Superman is at baseball.
And also are doing the box scores.
That is true. Also, once again, buy my book Monkey Flip. It's a YA mystery about a chimp detective. You'll love it.
You will. Even if you're not a YA. You're an OA like me, just an old ass man.
I appreciate that, yeah. All right, so the Freedom Fighters. This book, these characters, Jank, well, first we should say there were 6 team members on the Freedom Fighters.
Sure.
Can you name them?
Without looking at the first page? No. I got Uncle Sam and, the Ray.
Yeah, there's a guy called the Ray.
The Doll Man.
What do you think? Do you think his first name is just Ray? And people like our buddy the Ed, they call him the Ray?
Yeah. Probably. Yeah, Ray J was taken in the 70s, so.
Yeah, but like you said, there's also a guy in this book, he might be the worst superhero ever, called the Doll Man.
Wow. That's weak.
Come up with something better than that for your name. Have some pride.
At least like Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Atom, they can get like really teeny tiny, crawl in your ear and like mess with your brain. This guy just turns into like the size of like a Barbie or something? I don't know. I feel like you can punch that pretty easily.
We'll get into him in a bit, because I got a lot to say about Doll Man. Also, there's a guy named the Human Bomb.
Yeah, that's right. That was the guy who kind of looked like old school Mr. Freeze.
And the Black Condor.
I don't remember him at all. I think
he flies off early on in the issue on his own little mission, and we never really
yeah, they all split up, which was kind of
interesting.
Annoying. Yeah.
And we also, I think finally we have the Phantom Lady.
Yeah.
I like her.
Yeah, she was all right.
Yeah.
All the stuff with the main group there where they fought the cat people, that was pretty good.
So these characters were originally created by Quality Comics. But they never appeared together until DC acquired their rights. And Quality Comics operated from 1937 to 1956. And its big books were Will Eisner's The Spirit.
Oh. Black
Hawk, which we talked about recently as well.
Sure.
With, Dick Dillon, I believe, did a lot of Black Hawk. And then G.I. Combat and Plastic Man started on Quality.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So that's why, like,
just gobbling up everything. Any little company, they had something, we'll take it.
Like when we were doing that baseball issue, I mentioned how Uncle Sam, his first appearance in like DC continuity was like Justice League 107, but he was created by Will Eisner. That's because the characters started way back at Quality Comics, and that's when Will Eisner created them. But So then when that company went out of business, DC eventually would buy some of the characters, and that's how they got the Freedom Fighters. And their first appearance in DC continuity, like I said, was Justice League of America issue 107 in 1973. And this version of the team was created by Len Wein and Dick Dillon. And then they got their own series in April of 1976. That's what we're reading here today. And it ran for 15 issues, ending in 1978.
Boy, getting those rights really paid off.
Well, I guess they're still around today.
Over a year. Yeah, that's true. They did bring them back in 52, right? Or something like that, or around
then? They brought them back. They've had a couple volumes of books, and I guess they're still around today. So,
wow.
Yeah, I'm not up on my DC, so I don't really know. But
yeah,
all right. Their original history here, their origin is on a planet called Earth X, which was a parallel world where the Nazis won World War II.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah. So those filthy Nazis, they developed nuclear weapons first, and then the Japanese also invaded California. So the U.S. fell, and the Freedom Fighters are defending America, trying to fight back. So,
nice. Yeah. Somebody's got to. I don't know if Uncle Sam's going to get it done if the Nazis have already conquered America.
But for their ongoing series, they crossed over onto Earth One. Because again, DC had a lot of Earths.
Yeah. Too many.
But they were framed as criminals by a guy called the Silver Ghost, who we meet in this issue as well.
Yeah, that was one of the many subplots going on here.
So he's been a thorn in their side since the beginning. And they were, this whole entire series, they're running from the law on Earth One. They're seen as criminals. So.
I mean, apparently it's not too hard because you can just tell them, hey, would a guy dressed like this be a criminal? They're like, oh, yeah, I guess so.
That's right. That's what Uncle Sam does. Would a guy wearing the Stars and Stripes be a criminal? The cop's like, nah, you're right. Get out of here, you scamp. That's pretty
back to leading the 4th of July parade.
After Crisis on Infinite Earths, they remained part of Earth One continuity and became members of the All-Star Squadron. So,
yeah, that seems like a fitting place for them.
Yeah, because that's the World War II heroes and stuff. All right, so let's go through these team members. Uncle Sam, we talked about him during that baseball issue briefly, but his first appearance was National Comics 1, 1940, created by Will Eisner, and he's just the embodiment of American pride.
Oh, okay. Is that a superpower? I don't know.
I think it is. At least back then it was. These days, not so much. But he's very strong.
People are more patriotic. Does he get more strength from that?
That's a good question. It's a good question. But he pretty much sounds like he has every power imaginable. Like he can grow in size, he can fly, he's very strong, he can do whatever he wants. He's Uncle Sam.
Tallman for then if this guy can shrink and grow and stuff.
I think they said he can grow like the big. I don't know. Who knows? It's Uncle Sam. Everyone knows who he is. All right, next up we have Black Condor. Get a load of this guy's backstory. His name is Richard Gray Jr., and his first appearance was in Crack Comics issue 1, 1940.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This was before crack cocaine was a thing, so they didn't really know what they were doing. Yeah. And they're created by Will Eisner and Lou Fine. So as an infant, this Gray fella, he was on an archaeological expedition with his parents when they were murdered by bandits. So the child, can you guess what the child's backstory is then? His name is Black Condor, and his parents were murdered. What do you think his backstory is?
No. He was raised by condors?
He was raised by condors! Right.
Oh, they chewed up baby birds and spit them in his, or baby worms and spit them in his mouth.
I don't know if it was condors plural or just one loving condor raised him, but he learned to fly by watching the other condors and mimicking their movements.
Oh my God.
So that's how Black Condor can fly. He was raised by condors.
That might be the dumbest origin I've ever heard.
I think it's pretty great.
I think we got a Golden Quesadilla nominee for most what the fuck moment.
All right, so the Human Bomb, his real name is Roy Lincoln, first appearance in Police Comics issue 1, 1941, which I think was also the first appearance of Plastic Man, or at least he was in Police Comics, I don't know. And he was created by Paul Gustafson, and he was a scientist working with his father on a special explosive chemical called 27QRX. But then some
Sounds
filthy
like
Nazi spies raided the lab, and they killed his father. Roy ingested the chemical to keep it from falling into enemy hands. As a result, whatever he touches explodes. So that could be wrong. That can make his love life difficult.
Yeah. Ooh, I thought Rogue had it bad.
So he has to wear a special containment suit to keep his powers under control. And like, it really just his hands. So like,
okay.
Yeah. So I guess the love life can still work. But,
yeah, he just needs to wear some gloves. Other than
that's exactly right. He wears special gloves. And I guess back in the old days, they said they were asbestos gloves and asbestos containment suit. But then they found out asbestos caused cancer. So they changed it to, like carbo fiber or something. I don't know. They made up some term for it.
They should have just made that a story, like, oh, he's dying of cancer now, like, because he wore this asbestos suit for so long.
But in this issue, we see him walking around without his containment suit. And I was very confused by that. But I guess it turns out that Dollman, who's also a scientist, he developed a dampening device that this guy can wear that will suppress his human bomb powers.
Okay. So, it's kind of like when like Loki supercharged Iceman's powers, so he couldn't touch anybody without freezing him, and they got him that belt.
Yeah, the championship wrestling belt he wore around his waist.
Until he just forgot about that, and then just nobody ever resolved that storyline. Just all of a sudden he stopped wearing the belt.
So that's the human bomb. Next we have the Ray. His real name is Langford Happy Terrell. Yeah, Happy's his name.
Happy.
Yeah. And his first appearance was in Smash. First appearance was in Smash Comics issue 14, 1940, created by Lou Fine. And he was ballooning one day, as you know, you're wont to do on a nice day, go out ballooning. And he was struck by lightning.
Ooh.
Now, the description said because he was exposed to sunlight and lightning at the same time, he got powers. Doesn't that happen a lot, though?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's cloudy when there's lightning normally, but
they added that sunlight thing to like almost like, oh, this is what did it. Well, I mean, aren't you always around sunlight? But anyway,
yeah, maybe they should have been like it was closer because he was so high up. He was closer to the sun, so the rays were stronger.
So it gave him the ability to fly and emit energy out of it, his body and whatnot. So shoot lasers and whatnot.
Turns out if you just want to be able to fly, all you have to do is watch a condor for a couple of minutes and get up like nobody's business.
I learned to climb trees by watching chimps. So then we have Phantom Lady. I think we've talked about her before. Wasn't she in some other book?
I mean, she may have been in that one All-Star Squadron annual or whatever that was.
Yeah, she sounds very familiar, like we've encountered her before.
Oh, no. Okay. She didn't seem familiar to me.
Maybe it was me and Mike L at some point.
Yeah, it could be. Her thing is like a blackout gun. I don't remember seeing that before.
Or maybe I'm thinking of Captain Midnight, or what was that guy's name? Dr. Midnight or Professor Midnight. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, her name is Phantom Lady. Sandra Knight is her real name. Police Comics 1, 1941, created by Will Eisner and I think Bob Iger. Right? Is that his name, Bob Iger? Or is that the Disney guy now? I don't know.
Disney guy, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm guessing that wasn't him.
Well, I guess the credit is just to Eisner and Iger Studios. So I guess a bunch of people created her. And she was the daughter of a U.S. senator and used a black light projector device to blind her enemies and to make herself invisible. But it seems like also in this book, she can also like Shadowcat, like phase through things.
Yeah. And apparently, I mean, she's got a blacklight gun, then she can show people all their stains all over them. Like, oh, that guy's been masturbating.
And her official biography says that she wore her skimpy outfit because she wears like a deep V-cut one-piece bathing suit, yellow, and like a green cape. And she said she wears a skimpy outfit to distract her male opponents.
Oh,
she's thinking like
strategy going on here. Yeah, that's why Robin does it too.
That just distracts Batman. So that's fan. Okay, last guy here on the team, Dollman.
Yeah,
real name Daryl Dane. Feature Comics 27, 1939, created by Will Eisner. And he was a research scientist who invents a formula that enables him to shrink to 6 inches while retaining his normal strength. Now, that doesn't sound all that impressive to me because
No.
really the only people who would be intimidated by that are other 6-inch tall people. Because, like, if I'm fighting you, Jank, and you turn into 6 inches, the strength is still equivalent to what we were dealing with before. You know?
That'd be the first time the women of Pittsburgh would have seen him.
That's our old buddy Ian's favorite joke. Yeah. But, at least Ant-Man, like, when he shrinks down, he gets the proportional strength of an ant. You know?
Yeah.
That's really impressive. But this guy...
Pretty much I feel like the only use this would have would be like that issue we did recently where Superman was trying to punch Amazo and he shrunk down and he missed him. Like, that's the only use this has, is you shrink real fast so the guy misses when he's already punching you. That's about the only use this has. Because normally, like, even like, you have Chucky and stuff like that where it's like talking dolls that go evil. Those are usually, so dangerous because they're dolls. You can't necessarily kill them. They're like being animated by magic or something. Like, you can shoot it or whatever. It's not going to damage it. But you're just a man who's 6 inches tall with your normal strength who is very susceptible to damage. So I don't know what good this is.
I would just step on this dude, He's done. So I don't know. Doll man.
Yeah. What a useless, sad sack.
Like, is this the dumbest superhero we've encountered? Oh man.
It's got to be up there, yeah.
Like, if he had a better name, Action Figure Man.
Kung Fu Grit Man.
Doll Man. What are we doing? And I guess we meet his girlfriend in this book too. And I guess at some point she gets the same powers as him, and she's called Doll Girl.
Oh, look at that.
Or maybe Doll Woman. I can't remember. So anyway.
I think before that he was just going into like Barbie's dream house and like taking her clothes off and stuff.
She walks in. What are you doing? Nothing. All right. So the villains in this book, like I mentioned, there's a guy named Silver Ghost. His first appearance was in the first issue of Freedom Fighters. And I guess his deal is he can just turn things into silver if he wants to, which sounds pretty awesome. I mean,
yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like the dollar store version of King Midas.
Yeah. But the real villain in this book is a fellow named Catman. And we've learned about him in the past, Jank, that he likes things dark.
Yeah. He really loves those dark cupcakes, especially from Post
Cupcake ads featuring Catman. Well, his real name is Thomas Blake, and his first appearance was in Detective Comics 311 in 1963, created by Bill Finger and Jim Mooney. Thomas Blake was a Gotham City socialite who trained himself to be a big cat hunter.
Okay.
Now, is that really something you want to be self-trained for? You can teach yourself to sing or dance or something or draw, but I taught myself how to hunt big cats.
That's something I would do, one of those like home courses they used to advertise on TV. Like, you want to be a stenographer? You want to hunt big cats?
Like, how do you start out just hunting your house cat? Your little pet? Hey, hunting him around the house? Yeah, trying to find him and track him down to the kitchen. And then you just build your way up. So I guess that's what he did. But he squandered all his vast fortune there. Probably, all the training courses for learning how to hunt big cats. And then he had nothing else to do. So he goes, you know what? I'm just going to turn to crime. So he became a criminal. And I think he was inspired by Catwoman, so he took the name Catman. But there is an interesting little twist to him here. He, I guess during one of his expeditions hunting big cats, he got some magical cloth from the South Sea cat cult.
Okay.
And this magical cloth, he used it to make his outfit, his little costume. And his costume's like yellow. It's kind of like a Batman outfit, except yellow with an orange cape and an orange cat head, like cow thing on his head.
Yeah. The ears are a little more cat-like, but instead of just straight point-ups, like pointing bat things, but yeah.
But this magical costume he wears, it gives him enhanced senses like a cat. And it also gives him 9 lives.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, I guess he started out as a Batman villain. So the first time Batman and Robin fought him, I guess they knocked him into a river or something. They thought he drowned and he's dead. But no, he just popped back up. He still had 8 lives to go. So he came back.
Oh, that's good. Good
So
for him.
that's Catman.
Didn't he become like one of the outsiders or something later on? I feel like
Yeah,
he
he
kind of
started
became
out
a
bad, but
hero.
he became good. He became a good
Yeah,
guy. So that's something. But in this
look
book,
at
he's still bad.
that. He's
So
all bad.
the creators for this book, Bob Rozakis is the writer, and he did issues 5 through 15. We just talked about Bob Rozakis a couple issues. Did he do that baseball one? Yeah, I think he did the baseball issue, right?
Oh, he could have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else he would.
Remember, he was like the DC Answer Man. He had that column in the back of the book. Remember, we talked about that.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's that guy. And then the artist is Dick Ayers. We've talked about him several times on the show. He did issues 7 through 15. I think if you want to get a whole detailed bio on Dick Ayers, I seem to recall I did Nick Fury and his Howling Commandos. I think he did that one. He's done a few issues we've done over the years, so we're all familiar with Dick Ayers, all right?
Sure.
I'm not doing more research.
We all know Dick Ayers' fat heads on our walls.
Yes. And the cover for this issue is drawn by Rich Buckler, who's a show favorite. So would you like to describe the cover, Jack?
Okay, there's a lot going on in this cover. Very, very busy. We got the little DC kind of circle up there in the corner. And right next to that, we got a big banner saying you could be in the Superman movie. Details inside it. So, ooh.
Sounds pretty good. Do you think that's how Gene Hackman got the part of Lex Luthor?
Yeah. Definitely. I guess they did, they were giving away 2 prizes, and apparently there were 2 kids that ended up in like one of the football scenes early on where Clark's like the water boy.
Oh, okay.
Like
The
football kids. So.
I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid. Have you seen that at all?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's probably been, 20 years at least.
That was like the first big superhero movie, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it sure was. I don't remember it being bad other than the part where he flies back and makes the world spin back and reverses.
Was that the first one?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Yeah, that is terrible.
Yeah, that was so dumb. All right, but then we got the title here. It says Freedom Fighters. Just kind of a little like wavy. I guess kind of like a flag waving in the wind. Maybe.
Yeah, there you
go. It's not very patriotically colored, but that's all right.
Yeah, you think you'd make it red, white, and blue.
Yeah. But then we got kind of a nighttime scene, and we got Uncle Sam's there, and the Human Bomb, and Phantom Lady, and she is using her like magic ring, I guess, to
yeah, it looks like it's a ring, huh?
Yeah, she's not holding it like a gun, so it must be a ring. She's shooting out this big blacklight beam, and caught in that blacklight beam, we got Catman, who's now shot in negative here. And he's saying, your blackout ray won't protect you, Phantom Lady. Catman can see in the dark. I guess that makes sense. He does like being in the dark.
Yeah.
And then down at the bottom, there's like a Daily Planet paper blowing by that says, Extra, the origin of Doll Man. I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to see that. Sure, that's going to be exciting.
And you see Doll Man, he's trapped in a little bird cage.
Yeah.
Now, again, I think I could break out of a bird cage if you put me.
Pretty sure if you had the full strength of your normal self, yeah.
Yeah, I think I could.
Plus, you could just grow and burst your way out of it, I think.
But he seems to be completely trapped by the thin wire barred bird cage. But,
yeah.
Hey, I like this cover. I like the negative coloring, like you said on Catman. That was cool, a cool effect. And let me tell you, I'll say this: I was distracted by Phantom Lady's costume. She looks great.
A lot of cleavage, yeah.
She looks awesome. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of this cover. I like it. So.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Hey, we open up the book. We see Hostess brings you 2 delicious all-star snacks, Hostess cupcakes and Twinkies. But there's no
comic ads. This made me so sad. I was like, this is a prime candidate for one of those Hostess ads, and nothing. We just got this instead. So it already put me in a bad mood to start off with.
But you get 3 free baseball cards, and they show Jim Palmer, Joe Morgan, and Reggie Jackson. How about that? And there are a total of 150 Major League Baseball cards full of player facts.
Oh, turn-ons, turn-offs.
That seems pretty awesome to me. All right, so now we get a splash page. At the top, we get a little box of each hero. I like this. This is pretty cool. And
yeah, this was handy because they keep referring to themselves as their real names, and I'm like, I don't know who the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, left to right, we get the Black Condor, Dollman, the Human Bomb, Phantom Lady, the Ray, and Uncle Sam. And they have their real names, but Uncle Sam, it has a question mark in parentheses beneath his.
Yeah, because he's just Uncle Sam.
Yep. And it says Freedom Fighters. Then we get a New York. It says New York Planet. What happened to the Daily Planet?
Yeah. This must be a different publication because they're in New York, not Metropolis.
Yeah, I'm always confused by DC and their cities. Like, so New York and Metropolis both exist. I just thought. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to see a map of DC.
Yeah.
Where do all these places fit in?
So it says Dollman held in DA murder. Fugitive apprehended in Pearson's office. Minnesota-based firm calls city notes due. And we see a picture of Catman. And the issue is called Murder in Miniature.
Yeah.
Now look at the bottom beneath the creators there. It says Mini Classic. What do you think that means?
No idea.
They couldn't possibly think this is a classic issue, right? Like this issue is going to go down in history. It's a mini classic.
You know the time they fought Catman? Oh, that was amazing.
All right, so we open it up and we see Human Bomb, Dollman, Uncle Sam, and Phantom Lady, and they're reading the newspaper there. And, they're saying, hey, Dollman, he's been arrested. We got to go break out Dollman from prison. And look at Uncle Sam's hat. I thought there was just a coloring mix hat at first. But, it looks like his hat got blown off in their last adventure. So, it's just the brim of the hat.
Fix it yet. Yeah.
Yeah, and a little jaggy bit. Why even wear the hat?
Not giving you any protection. I guess he was not Uncle Sam without the hat, without some kind of piece of the hat.
I guess, but
weird uncles like Colonel Sanders without a mustache.
Very strange. They're debating what they should do to free old Dollman there. And they're like, well, we can't break in and get it. We're heroes. We can't, break into a prison.
Everyone thinks we're criminals, but we can't turn into them for real.
And they say, what we got to do is we got to let the legal system run its course. And then Phantom Lady says, yeah, then once that happens, then we can break him out because he is guilty as hell. So we got to break him out. So they're debating what to do. And where do they send old Black Condor? What's his deal? He goes flying off.
See. Okay, if we've got any chance of finding him, we better get going. We're already a day behind. Who are they looking for?
Oh, they're looking for the Ray, I think, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So he sends Black Condor to look for the Ray, who has been fighting the Silver Ghost, I guess, since last issue.
Yes. So they're going to try and figure out a way to get Dollman out, I think. Is that what they're doing? But Black Condor is going to go look for the Ray?
New York will go, oh, no. Uncle Sam has caught on to some kind of scheme here, so that's what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
There's been robbed of all, here we go. That's a job for you. We three are heading for Minneapolis. A company there has been robbed of all its holdings. To stay solvent, it's calling on New York City to pay back $1 billion loan. And Human Bomb's just like, what does that got to do with us? And Uncle Sam's like, don't you see? New York will go broke if it has to pay off a disaster, or if it has to pay off a disaster scheme the Silver Ghost would pull off to regain control of Manhattan Island. Yeah,
that's the Silver Ghost guy. I guess he's always trying to take over New York / the world. He's always trying to.
Yeah. Mostly New York, it seems like. Yeah. All of his schemes are New York centric.
So now we cut over to the Ray. We see the Ray fighting Silver Ghost. But here the Silver Ghost is dressed as a fella named the Americommando, I think. Is that what they call him? Okay. He's wearing like a red outfit and blue. So they don't really know it's the Silver Ghost yet. But the Ray discovers it during this fight. Like there are rumors that this Americommando might be the Silver Ghost, I guess. So we see them fighting. And the Ray's zapping him. He's punching the Ray. But then the Ray hits him in the face with a laser beam.
Yeah, selective burning laser beam that only burns off his mask, not his face.
Yeah, and without even giving you a sunburn. Neat stuff, huh? I call it selective burning. Oh, that's kind of what they did in Hawaii a couple of years ago, if you follow the conspiracy channels. But, so, yeah, his mask burns off, and he goes, oh, you really are the silver ghost. And,
yeah, you're an old man.
Yeah, he's got the silver hair. And he says, well, you're not going to be able to tell anyone because I'm going to kill you. So don't even worry about it. And, they keep fighting. But then there's a park ranger because they're fighting.
Ghost, like, has his hair out as part of his costume, if you look at it.
I don't know.
Like, the top of his mask doesn't cover the hair, so
that is true.
He was already silver. You can tell he was silver.
How many villains? It's either him or Steve Martin. They weren't sure who was under the mask.
Yeah.
But he used this selective burning, and they realized, oh, it's a silver ghost. So they're fighting over like a national park or something. So some forest rangers see them, and they have some helicopters come flying in. And the Ray, like the good hero he is, he just zaps one of the helicopters. What is he doing? I don't know. I guess he,
Yep.
Well, they fired wildly. And so he's chasing down Silver Ghost, and he grabs him by the ankle. But then he gets sniped in the shoulder by one of the helicopters. And, and the Ray goes crashing into the ground. And Silver Ghost, he's standing there over him. He says, too bad, buddy. I'm just going to leave you here to die. And he just walks off.
Yep.
But we see someone in a plaid coat wearing a glove pull back some branches of a tree. And
yeah, like it'll be hours before state troopers can comb the area and find the Ray, but someone else already has. Oh.
Yeah, who do you think that is?
I don't care.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I don't know of any villains that wear like a green plaid.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. I don't know. Maybe Jimmy Olsen? Is he wearing coats? I don't know. All right.
Other gloves. Sounds like Jimmy Olsen.
So now we cut over to Doll Man, and I like each time we switch over, we get like a big, bold title font of their name. So, Doll Man. And he's got like a blue one-piece outfit with a red belt, bare legs and arms, big red boots, and a red cape.
Yeah, very circus performer-y.
And he's in a cage, and he's talking to his girlfriend, and he's trying to say, hey, I didn't kill that guy. And, oh no, what else are they talking about? She says, oh, Daryl, I'm so sorry this happened. I never should have talked you into going, back to D.A. Pearson's office or whatever. And he was like, it was my decision, Martha. Everything I've ever done has been my decision, like becoming Doll Man in the first place. So now we get a flashback.
Yeah.
Way
sure,
back
it's just as epic as that other guy, the guy who was drinking the formula so that he would keep it away from the Nazis. No, this guy, Doll Man, he was like, I'm going to drink this stuff. And the other guy's like, no, don't drink it. It can do anything. It can mess with your mind. He's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Why not?
He just drinks it. And then he shrinks down to 6 inches, and he's naked now because he shrunk out of his clothes. So now the doctor's seeing him in all his glory there. And he's like, hey, you okay there, buddy? And he's like, yeah, I think I'm okay. And he's like, is it reversible? And he's like, sure, I can grow big too. Now I'm a big naked guy. And then he recounts some story about how he saved Martha, right? Or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, from a homicidal blackmailer. But then he's like, oh yeah, but then I also got her killed after, or she died after that. I couldn't save her.
Oh yeah, his
that
previous.
Story too.
Oh
yeah,
no,
Martha.
It's the same Martha, but from Earth X, right? Like his parallel Marthas. So
yeah,
he's now on Earth 1, so he met the lady he loved on Earth X, but now this lady's alive. So
that's nice.
Yeah. But it has to be emasculating to be a superhero. And when you're arrested by the cops, they just put you in a bird cage.
Yeah. That's hard to come back from. I think she would leave him after that.
Just get out of that bird cage, you dope. I can't, Martha. I'm Doll Man.
I feel like Martha could just unlock the thing from the outside. It's a doll cage, I'm sure, like a bird cage. They didn't design this thing for maximum security.
So yeah, we're flashing back, and Yeah, he's talking about how that other Martha died, and because the Nazis came in and they were trying to get some information out of that doctor and whatnot, and they killed the doctor and the other Martha. They tied him up and tortured him. And then Doll Man walked in right as they were about to leave, and he starts fighting 3 armed Nazis.
Yeah.
And he's like shrinking down to doll size, jumping around, kicking them, and then growing big again, punching them in the balls, and then throwing them, and he's doing all kind of things.
Yeah, it is kind of weird that he's like swinging one of the guys like by his foot and like swinging him against the wall. Like,
it's really hard to do.
Hand strength. Yeah, that doesn't seem possible.
He's banging their heads together, the 3 Stooges. And he says, I don't know what happened to me. They had to pull me off them when they found us. He was still beating them up for like hours later. Still beating these guys up.
Yeah.
So then who walks in? This guy, Fred Snyder, the court-appointed attorney to represent you, Mr. Dane.
Only it was Fred Schneider from the B-52. This comic was more interesting.
That'd be terrible.
Get out of here.
All right, so now we cut over to Uncle Sam, the human bomb and Phantom Lady.
Yeah, now this really got interesting.
And they're at the IDS Center. Is this an actual place?
I don't know. I was wondering that too.
Like, they're talking about it like it's a real world place.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hey, and then if you, the next ad, Jank, amazing air breathing crazy crabs. Get crazy crabs.
Yeah. This comic book gave me crabs.
Just send in a coupon, money back guarantee. If these crabs aren't crazy, you get your money back. Oh, look, they also have an option for a rush order, an extra $1. Don't wait to get your crazy crabs.
I want to see crabs that live on land so bad. It's been my life's goal.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. And we get some more ads. There are a lot of ads in DC
Superman
Comics.
ad, yeah, for the contest.
Later on, we get an ad for Mr. Miracle. He's coming back.
Yes. The thrilling return of Mr. Miracle.
All right, so now we get back to our previously scheduled programming, and Uncle Sam, Human Bomb, and Phantom Lady are walking around town together, but they're in their civilian outfits. So Uncle Sam does not have the hat on.
Nope.
And Human Bomb is just in a turtleneck and a suit coat and stuff, so he must have that dampening device on. And Phantom Lady's in like a onesie jumper, a yellow jumper, it looks like.
She's consistent in her colors, at least.
And they're just walking down the street, and they look into a pet store window, and what do they see, Jank?
Well, dag nabbit, you're right. Still, they have no idea why that Catman robbed them or where he went. Tarnation, there he is. Catman himself, the guy they were just talking about, is in this jewelry store.
It's a pet store. He's robbing Siamese twin kittens from the pet store.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess
the
like
last place he robbed was the Cathcart because it has CAT in it.
Yeah, that was kind of his gimmick. He always robbed things involving cats. Isn't that what Catwoman kind of did on the old Batman shows? Yeah.
It sure was. He's just really ripping that off.
So they go running into they duck in someplace to change into their fighting outfits, and Uncle Sam puts on that torn hat.
Family's like, oh, Sam, we forgot to fix your hat. Like, later,
you look like a dope, Sam. Take that hat off.
Maybe it's like, Frosty the Snowman. He gets his magic from that old silk hat he found. Takes it off, he's nothing.
Like, I can get Phantom Lady maybe having her costume underneath, But where did the Human Bomb get his costume from? Like, where is he keeping it?
Yeah, he's not walking around with a backpack or anything. I don't know where he had that helmet stored.
So they walk in, look at Catman holding those 2 kittens.
He's kind of like making them kiss. Like,
it's kind of like he's holding 2 hoagies. He's going to eat them. So they do your Uncle Sam voice here when he breaks in.
Oh, let's see. So Catman says, Siamese twin kittens, a fitting beginning for my new cat collection. And Uncle Sam comes in, providing you're planning on paying for 'em, mister.
And Catman says, "What? Costume crime fighters? I decided to renew my crime career out here so I wouldn't have to tangle with the likes of you." And it says he's been in jail since Detective 325 in 1964.
Holy hell.
This is his first appearance in the over 12 years. All right.
Yep, nobody wanted to use Catman.
So he says, "Tomcats, you deal with them." And he's got 3 guys with him called the Tomcats, and they're dressed in all purple outfits, and they got little cat masks on. And they have tails, too.
Similar to like the 90s Catwoman costume, honestly. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the one cat guy walks up to Uncle Sam and says, "Come on, Gramps, let's see what kind of punch you've got."
I may be older than you, young feller, but my fist won't tell my age. Tarnation! Punches him right in the jaw.
But then the cat just does one little flip and lands on his feet. So,
yeah, because he's like a cat. He always lands on his feet.
Yeah, but shouldn't he have been knocked out? Like, what kind of punch are you hitting him with there? Come on.
That happens later on in the issue, and you find out they still land on their feet, even if they're knocked out cold, so.
Yeah, so the Tomcat says, "Nice try, old timer, but like a cat, I always land on my feet." But it seems like only one of them can land on his feet. Like, they all have it. Each of them has
one ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like Catman made it out of his costume, but he didn't have enough to go around, so it's like you just get like one glove, and you get a boot.
So Human Bomb comes up to the other guy and he says, "How about you, mister? You always land right side up too?" And he says, "That's not my bag, tank head." And Human Bomb tries to punch him, and he just dodges him. He says, "I've got a cat's agility, so don't count on landing any punches." So now that leaves...
You're just like a cat. That's why they call him Whiskers.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah. So,
the Phantom Lady's got the other one, and she's like, "You gotta find me first, which will be impossible with my blackout beam in action." And he's like, "Ha, tough luck, Cat Lady. I've got the cat's ability to see in the dark." He's like, "Oh." This is where she kind of uses that phasing ability you're talking about, where she just turns into a ghost. She's like being able to phantom out.
Yeah.
So yeah, she just ghosted up and he falls right through her.
So now we see Catman and he's getting pretty mad. He's like, "Cut the clowning, man, and get this over with. I ain't planning to be sent back to prison by heroes I never saw before." And the Tomcats say, "3 down heroes coming right up, boss. You won't regret working with a gang, Catman." Okay. So the one Tomcat jumps and lands on Human Bomb's helmet, and he says, "Knock, knock, anybody home?" And then the other cat jumps at Uncle Sam, but what does Uncle Sam do, Jack?
Well, he just kind of punches him in the face while stopping him with one arm. He grabs the guy's arm, kind of stops him, and punches him in the face with the other arm. And he says, "You young whippersnappers will never learn. It takes more than fancy footwork to best Uncle Sam."
That's right. And but the cat, again, just shakes off Uncle Sam's best punch and says, "Even when the footwork is as fancy as this," and he kicks Uncle Sam. But then Uncle Sam...
Good uppercut, though, this time. He's just like, unimpressive. Most unimpressive.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. He still doesn't KO the guy, does he? I don't know. But, so the other cat guy, Tomcat, is running to the Human Bomb. Human Bomb takes off one of his gloves, though, and just touches him, and that cat explodes. He goes flying back into the wall, but even though he's knocked out, he still lands on his feet.
I enjoyed that touch. That was fun. Even though I think also, instead of just being knocked out, wouldn't that like blow the shit out of him?
Yeah. I thought it was just going to be arms and legs strewn everywhere. Yeah. Entrails dangling from the ceiling, but no.
No, it's just my stun explosion. What? Yeah. I don't think it works that way.
So Catman's getting all mad. He's like, "Of all the other incompetents, my fellow felines fell by inferior crime fighters." And they're beating up other Tomcats. And then Phantom Lady comes in and like karate chops him in the head or something. But then Catman tries to punch her. She phantoms out again, so he punches right through her. And then she like judo flips him, and he lands right on his head. It like snaps his neck.
There's no way he's walking again after this.
Oh man. And they're laughing at him like, you didn't land on your feet. You didn't land on your feet.
This human bomb, he's a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, oh, he can't beat a cat man. He didn't land on his feet. Definitely no class.
He's not a cat man, he's a scat man.
He's got a broken neck. No, that's what he's got. So, all right. Now we get an epilogue to this fine issue.
Yeah, epilogues.
And this is the part we were talking about earlier where the cop is like, say, aren't you three wanted in New York for something?
Tarnation, young fella. Could a man who proudly displays the stars and stripes be a criminal?
I guess not. Though, wait a minute. Didn't Richard... Nah, what am I saying? And he just gives up. So.
Yep. Come on, Roy, Sandy. Let's cross the mighty Mississippi and check out St. Paul.
But then read the next one at the bottom.
Maybe I can get my hat fixed there.
He can get his hat fixed. I think you're going to need a new hat. I don't think that hat's going to be fixable. Like, I think you need to get a new hat.
Right, it's like that ship question of how much can you replace before it's a completely new hat?
Yeah, like that thing was cut off, and there's nothing left up top. So, yeah. All right. Now we come back to Dollman, and he's talking to his attorney guy, and he's trying to explain what happened. And he's like, "Hey, what happened there? That the DA got killed, and you say you're innocent?" And he says, "Yeah, because what I did is I went to the DA's office, and I heard a gunshot, and then someone threw the gun into the room, and I reached down and picked it up, and then the cops and the assistant DA ran into the room and arrested me." Well, it's dumb of you.
Yeah, very dumb.
So, what does this guy say? He says, even if I do, no jury ever will. Yeah, because he's saying, the Dollman's like, you don't believe me. He's like, even if I do, no jury ever will. There's no way someone could have shot the DA through that door and then vanished into thin air. It's just plain impossible. So, next issue, Dollman on trial, plus the origin of the ray.
They were apparently doling out these origins very slowly throughout the series, I guess.
Yeah. Plus, so I guess they're keeping everything divided. So Uncle Sam, the human bomb, and Phantom Lady in Texas asking, divided we die?
Yep. Now they're going to St. Paul.
Now, see, yeah, that's right. I guess they're going to fix his hat, so now they're going to Texas. But if you look to the next thing, we get the Freedom Fan Mail, which is their letter page. And look how that is. Red, white, and blue. Freedom Fan Mail.
Yep.
Like, that should be what it is on the cover. Freedom.
Yeah. Huh. They dropped the ball there.
All right, so there it is, Freedom Fighters, issue 10. Well, first of all, what do you think of this team, the collection of heroes?
It's hard to say because we didn't really get to see them all together much. The three that we saw together, I thought were good. They had some good interactions. The others who were just kind of on their own, Obviously, Dollman's pretty useless.
Yeah, unless the Ray and Black Condor was raised by condors, but unless they have some real sparkling personalities or something, they just can't seem kind of boring. Uncle Sam, clearly with all the tarnations and young fellers and whippersnappers, that's pretty fun, you know. So
yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of him.
And I'm a big Phantom Lady fan, obviously, because of the outfit and the dark light ring and everything. So she seems pretty awesome. Like, she can use that black light. She can phase like Shadowcat. What can't she do? You know, she's pretty awesome. So.
Well, the black light doesn't seem like it's that useful. But
well, yeah, when you're fighting cats, it's not useful. But when you're fighting normal people, it blinds them. They can't see.
But can't they just move like a foot to their left and be out of it, and then they can see just fine?
I suppose, but. All right, so the rating here, Bob Rozakis, it was he really brought Uncle Sam to life.
He did.
How do you feel about
the baseball issue for sure? I got a better taste of Uncle Sam here.
How do you feel about them dividing up the story into 3 sections?
I guess if we were reading this whole thing, it would probably be more satisfying, if we were reading this whole long form story. But as a one time, just kind of jumping into the middle of the story, I wasn't a big fan of it. Especially since like I said, the three people, I really like that stuff. So when they cut to anything else, I was just kind of like, I'm over this.
Yeah, like really, other team books, obviously you have subplots going on and you cut away to other characters and stuff. But I think the thing that made this more distinctive is that when they made the first cut, they did the big header with the title of the hero's name and the big font and everything. Like, oh, we're doing a whole separate section here. And then Dollman didn't come back until the epilogue. So it was an interesting way to structure things. I don't recall ever encountering that before in all the years we've been doing this show.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I mean, this isn't terrible. I mean, it's 1970s typical kind of dialogue and stuff, but I guess it's interesting. Like, I wonder what Black Condor is going to do. Is he going to find the Ray?
Yeah.
And who is that mysterious person in the woods with the plaid jacket and the glove?
You may never know. Damn.
Would you read more Freedom Fighters?
Kind of reminds me of Turner D Century, but it's a different company. Well, I mean, I would read more Uncle Sam for sure.
Oh, really?
Maybe Uncle Sam and Phantom Lady team up, but the rest of them, I don't know. They can kind of go spit.
The art here by Dick Ayers, it's pretty average, I would say, right?
Yeah, it's nothing to write home about, but it's serviceable. Got the job done.
Yeah, there are no real memorable panels or anything that stood out.
It's a nice shot of the Ray's ass when he first shows up.
Catman as a villain, very, like you said, the 60s Batman.
Yep. Yep. I could see why they didn't use him for 12 years. A cat rip off, and it's like, well, we already have a Catwoman. What do we need you for?
Yeah. So I enjoyed it, though. I liked reading it, so I'll probably give it a 7.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was going to give, I'll give the Uncle Sam plot a 9. The Ray stuff was like a 2, if I'm being generous. And Dollman, maybe because it's like a mystery, I'll give that like a 4. So I think that averages about 2, somewhere around 5, yeah.
Yeah, maybe a 6 would probably be more reasonable for me, but it had a lot of cats. So I like cats.
You sure do.
Can I say?
All the cat powers and stuff, that was fun. Him landing on his feet after he got exploded and knocked out.
Catman and the Tomcats. Look out. So
he can't be a Catman. He didn't land on his feet.
He broke his neck. All right. So there it is, Freedom Fighters issue 10. Look forward to your favorite newsstand. Sure it'll still be there. All right, Jack. Next week. Now, I heard tell that we might have a special guest next week. Is that still in line, or?
That is still happening. Yes, for anybody who's a big fan of Cousin Pete, this is your opportunity because Cousin Pete will be back next week.
Cousin Pete. Now, He was supposed to be back the last time we did Flash, and he didn't show up. So it's always a game time decision with Cousin Pete.
Yeah. I'm not sure what day we'll be recording, but okay, we'll be recording.
And
I did not turn my pick over to him, but it's a book that I know he actually has already read. One of the few probably Bronze Age comics he's read that wasn't for this show. So I know he's a big fan of this series. I've actually never read it, but I'm a big fan of the movie, or at least the first one. Then there were a bunch of other movies that were not so good. And just next, as you're hearing this episode, the upcoming weekend, there's going to be a new remake of this movie. That looks terrible. Looks god awful. Just looks like crap. So with
all those clues, I should be able to guess what this is, but I got to be honest, I have no idea. No idea.
Oh, really? Not ringing a bell. It's from 1989. I'll give you that. It was a limited series from 1989.
No idea.
And okay, well, we're going to be doing The Crow #1.
Holy hell, The Crow.
Yeah.
Brandon Lee. Yeah, I didn't know who's in the remake of it.
Bill Skarsgård.
Don't know who that is.
He was Pennywise in the recent It movies.
Not helping me. All right,
Yeah.
so wait, what issue
One of
did
those
you say?
Skarsgårds. We're going to do the first one, issue number 1, because they don't actually have the individual issues on the site we use. They only have the trade paperback, so
Okay.
I figured it's the easiest way is to just go from, book 1 to the start of book 2.
All right. The Crow. I know nothing about The Crow except, the Brandon Lee connection. So.
I love the movie. The first movie is really good. Me and Pete both love it. Pete obviously loves it enough to have read the comic already, so I know he'll be happy to revisit it and talk about it next week.
I just know the wrestling connection because Sting ripped off the Crow.
Sure did.
So. All right, The Crow, issue 1 from 1989, next week here on The Big Show with hopefully Cousin Pete. So again, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And until next week, don't get any jank on you.